Welcome to Theology in the Streets, where no topic goes untouched. I am Pastor Lou, a.k.a. Late to the Game, and I have with me...
Don Dada, Pastor New, in the building, no restrictions.
Hey, Jammers in the building, how you doing?
And we have our producer as well with us.
Kirk Classic.
Big Kirk Classic, the man, jack of all trades right there. He can do it all, yo, for real. You need your house done, he take care of you. You need him to sing some songs, he take care of you. You need him to take care of your kids, he take care of you.
Whoa, wait. I don't know about that.
For the right price.
Hey, T.A.T.S Nation, welcome. Hey, listen, thanks for listening to our podcast. Continue to subscribe and check us out. Listen on Facebook. Check us at Theology in the Streets. Check us on Instagram at Theology in the Streets. Twitter at tats_podcast. And check us up on our YouTube page as well, Theology in the Streets. So make sure you share, subscribe, do whatever it is to get us out there. And let's continue to just build. Amen. So today's topic is fatherhood. Fatherhood. First, let me say this. Everybody had a good Father's Day weekend.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, everybody ate good.
Ate some good food.
I ate too much, man. Seriously, man. I was feeling it this morning.
I was chilling.
But so the topic for today is fatherhood, and so Jamma, like in your research here, because I know you came with some statistics. What are some of the things you came across as you were researching for today's topic?
All right, coming from PewResearch.org, man. U.S. children living with an unmarried parent has more than doubled since 1968, jumping from 13% to 32% in 2017, man. That trend has been accompanied by a drop in the share of children living with two married parents, down from 85% in 1968 to 65%. And some 3% of children are not living with any parents, according to a new Pew Research Center analysis of U.S. Census Bureau data. It's getting worse and worse, fatherlessness.
So the trend is fatherlessness is going on. Not only, it's not just amongst minorities, but it's in all across the nation.
Yes.
So, what's the damage on this? What do you think is the damage of fathers not being at home? What do we see? What do we see in our society today? What do you think?
Be a father to your child. Remember that song? Y'all remember that song?
Kumo D?
No, I think it was like Edo G and the Bulldogs, something like that.
Oh, yeah.
Remember that? Be a father to your child.
Yeah. Wow.
They was doing a positive message back then.
That's digging in the crates, right?
I need to hear that. You went to the stats too fast, man. I'm not as brilliant as you guys. Can you run that back for me one time, Selecta?
All right, 32% of all children are living in an unmarried parent household.
Okay,
man.
32% in America, right?
Yeah, in America. That's 1/3, man.
Okay.
1/3. 1 out of 3 kids are living in a single parent household. That's not to say that the fathers are not in their lives, because you got fathers that visit on the weekends and stay active in their lives.
They're not in a.
But they're not in the home.
Yeah, they're not in the house.
And that's that's
it's not a mother and father at home.
So what has been normal? Let's say from in most of all society for thousands of years, a father being in the home, that has completely changed today.
I think because marriage, the view on marriage has been changed today.
Also, sociology experts have given that to women becoming active in the workforce. That has led to a lot of divorce, a higher divorce rate in the country, man. And mothers not being as involved also in the life.
Oh, yeah, it's flipping. They flipping it on us.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Women ain't trying to hear it no more. They're like, yo, you have the kids.
Yep.
And I'll come visit. Nah.
That's crazy.
But
the percentage of single fathers in the home have risen as well. And,
exactly.
And not only that, I think the mindset of men being okay with stay-at-home dads, that has changed as well with the millennial generation and upcoming. What do you guys think about that?
What you think, though? Do you think it's because, a lot of, companies, they like to have that woman on the forefront. Sometimes it's easier to hire a woman because of, the attraction and, brings more business towards the company.
Yep.
And sometimes it's hard for men to get those. But it goes for the women's sakes. For them, they don't get the position sometimes because it's a man position. So we have both, sides of the coin.
Especially Hispanic women. Have you noticed the rise of Hispanic women in positions of power?
That's true.
Well, here in Rochester, New York, your sister being one of them. I got a sister who's in high
And
position.
they do not need no more power.
And they're very powerful.
Hispanic women do not need no more power.
Hispanic
oh,
women.
my
son.
bad. I love y'all.
Because they're bilingual.
I'm
They're
joking,
very,
guys. I'm joking.
That's what it is. They're
Yeah.
bilingual, so that gives them access to a different community.
It's in their nature. You know, Taino women, okay, were strong. When the husband, when the Taino men went out for war, they took positions that the men had, the Taino women.
Yes, and even deeper, Dawn. Back in the days during the Taino tribes, indigenous people of the island of Boninque, which we call Puerto Rico, there were women chiefs, what they called caciques.
Exactly.
Not only men were chiefs, but they had women chiefs.
And they had more than one husband.
Yes, they had more than one.
Yeah. They had more than.
They
And
practiced polygamy on both sides.
on both sides.
Yeah.
That's how strong the women.
Yeah.
And the guys would either camp away, and the women would have their own camp, and they only come to
Mate.
procreate.
Procreate.
Let's put it. And that's how that's how strong the Taino woman was.
Yeah. So that's where that pastor and pastora thing comes from.
Yes, exactly.
That's right, yeah.
Exactly. La pastora. You gotta ask the pastora. Forget asking the pastor.
It's
You
in
better
the
ask
blood,
the
huh?
pastora.
Oh, Lord.
Nah. Let's not be like some of my Boricua, hombres, still, we still, got that.
Yeah, there's still some strong weaker men out there holding it down.
Holding it down. And listen, and it's not in a, barbaric way. It's just in a order way. But I think this. I think that this. I was in a store today, and they was talking about, you're coming to the wedding, right? This customer was talking to the cashier woman, and he was like, "You coming to the wedding?" She was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna come. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be lit." And then she was like, "Oh, yeah, my boyfriend doesn't want to get married. We're just gonna live together. We think that, doing that whole ceremony is unnecessary." That's what she said. And I was just sitting, I'm in the line. I'm like 3 people in front of me, and I'm listening to what she's saying. Again, no importance of getting married. We're gonna live. Yeah, we don't need to get married. We don't need to do. That's all for paper. That doesn't really mean anything.
Wow.
They was talking.
So
I'm listening.
the sanctity of marriage is decreasing. They don't even
Yeah.
respect the.
Well, there's a reason why on that. So the divorce rate in the world, and when I mean the world, I mean people outside of Christianity, is over 50%. But guess what? In the church, it's over 50%.
Wow.
So if we don't hold it with high regards, how do we expect
Is
people
that
who don't know
miscued
God?
though? Because how many people in the church aren't really in the church? You know what I mean? Yeah. Just because they're in the church doesn't mean they're really walking with the Lord.
No,
Right?
I understand what you're
So,
saying. but
you're
the point
basing a
is they still
statistic-
represent Christianity, though, right?
That demographic.
that demographic of people. So
But he has a point. You have to. There's levels of right. You got
There's levels.
I would agree. There's definitely
Yeah,
onion layers there, but still at the same time, if they represent the demographic, they say they attend church and they're Christians. Still,
Yeah, I hear you though. You're just going off the information.
Going
that's
off
out
the
there.
information.
Yeah. But you know what
that's
I'm
my
saying.
point, though.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
so excuse what the world would think. If they people, you got people that don't go to church, and you have people that's in the church and they having arguments, and that's in every relationship, but that leads to divorce because I just don't want to be with you no more. I don't care for you no more. I don't love you no more.
Exactly.
Without any major reasons.
Exactly.
That's no different what the world does. And
Exactly.
it's like, well, y'all ain't taking it
Well,
serious.
yeah, the world encourages you to be promiscuous and see what's out there before you even try to settle down and do anything.
That is the new trend, man.
Yeah.
Openness, open to sexuality, man.
Yep.
Experiment, do as you please, man. You know?
Open marriages too. Even
that's a whole
even
nother
people
thing.
that are married, they have open marriages. That's common today, where they just go out and we should have sex with other people. We come home and we sleep in the same bed.
Exactly.
So,
and I think that's why you have so when you break up the marriage, you break up the home. And if it's not sacred, then the home is not sacred.
Yeah.
And so what happens is you have a one-person home, and not to say that they can't, also help, with raising the kid, even if you're not in the home. I'm not saying that, but again, we're talking about 2 parents in the household.
It's way more powerful.
It's way more,
and it's way more beneficial than just visiting.
Definitely.
But this
Definitely.
is the thing: when you have both parents in the home, the influence that they have. Let's say you have a boy. Let's say you have a son. that they need that male figure in their life consistently, right?
Oh, yeah.
And not only that, usually boys when they're younger, they're close with mom.
Yeah.
But when they become adolescents, they get to that adolescent years, guess what? They're starting to figure themselves out. They're starting to become a little bit more testosterone. I'm a man. And guess who? If it's a single mom, a lot of times, you know, who do they come disrespectful to first and foremost is the mom.
But you know what? That's what we say. See, we say that the house needs a man and a woman, needs a father and a mother. They say, the secular world says, oh, a woman can do it, one person can do it. You know what I mean?
Well,
so we're...
But the statistics
But
are
it's a
showing
double
us
standard,
otherwise.
though. It's a double standard because there are statistics out there that talk about what was it? Barack Obama was just saying that when he was in office about, you know, the effects of not having a father in the home, that a boy is more likely to end up in jail. He's more likely to carry a gun, so on and so forth.
You sure that wasn't Trump?
No, that wasn't Twitter fingers. It wasn't Twitter fingers.
It was me. I think I said that.
Well, Trump is rewarding married couples with that new tax break that he did, that they said it was strictly for the rich, but it rewards married couples. It's forcing men to be like, yo, marry the woman you're having a child with and you will benefit on taxes.
Yo, check this out. Similar to what Pastor Curtis was just already alluding to. And BeliefFathers.com. This is actually a website by Belief Melanin. He's a former Christian rapper, and he's dedicated his life to raising his 4 children, but also making a ministry out of it, emphasizing it as a black father himself. He said this: the children who grow up with absentee fathers are 2 to 7 times more likely to have behavioral problems, suffer from abuse, be addicted to drugs and alcohol, and more likely to commit a crime. 2 to 7 times more likely. And that's what we see in our world.
And that's true.
So though you may have, like what you're saying, Dawn, though you may have sociologists, you may have experts saying women can do the job, they can do the job. It's not saying they can't do it. They can raise kids, but the effects of the child without having a father in the home, there's going to be that consequence. Let me throw this at y'all. In Genesis 3, we find that one of the consequences for the woman, obviously pain and childbearing, but that she would have a desire for a husband, but he would rule over her. Now, I've had this. This is my own theory, my opinion on this. With a lot of single boys who are raised by their moms, my thought has always been this, that when they come into adolescent years, they come into that manhood kind of mindset. Yeah. So even when, and I know this is not true of every mom, because there's a lot of moms that hold it down, and some of these boys won't dare disrespect their mom. But, and what we're seeing today in a lot of young teenage boys with their moms is disrespect. Yeah. Now, mom, you're going to take care of me. Mom, you're going to take care of me, but I'm going to do what I want. Yeah. You understand what I'm saying? And so that's rooted in Genesis 3, right? So a mom dealing with a teenage boy who thinks he's a man now, even though he hasn't had male role models or proper role models.
He shall rule over his
He's ruling over his own mom.
That's right.
Yeah.
Now, you see how that's messed up,
especially if she's up in age. You see that even more.
Yes.
Because they don't have the will to even fight with this, all this young energy that this young man is
You
bringing.
have moms physically fighting their boys. Yeah. Like they're in physical altercations today with their own boys because there's no discipline from a father.
And heck, listen, we open up a Pandora box with that because now the government has kind of took the rights a little bit of disciplining your kid. You know what I mean? Yeah. Now, I'm not saying go crazy and be beating them up, you know what I'm saying, till they bleed. But people of color, at least I could speak for, we a little more hands-on with our discipline. Yeah. Now, we explain why we doing it. and we explain the consequences of what's going to happen when you do try to do it.
We do now, yeah.
Yeah,
Not back in the day.
Not back in the day. No, back in the day, you just got hit, and you ask me another question, you're going to get hit again. You just get hit for no reason. Like, yo, ask me that again. Question me again. Cry, and see what happens. You hard trying to.
What you crying for?
It's natural. It ain't natural. You know what's going to be natural? Me hitting you one more time. Try to cry. And you don't even know what to do. You're like, we all messed up. I don't know how we came out, It
was bad.
Yeah, it was terrible. It was terrible. But anyways, but they kind of like have you kind of like they kind of like censor you, and and you can't even deal with your child in the manner you want to. You know what I'm saying? So that plays a part also of now why these kids feel so privileged when they grow up and have this chip on their shoulder that you can't tell me what to do or what you or you can't stop me from doing whatever I want to do. Also, I think this whole postmodern mindset helps create a monster, so to speak.
Yes. Neo-feminism, rooted in postmodernism, is being propagated, right? Yep. And not only that, like Lou said, it's cool. They're saying, women can do it by themselves. You don't need a man in the crib. You know what I'm saying? They championing that movement, right? Because woman is powerful. Woman can do whatever. They don't need no man. Mm-hmm. They don't need to be dependent on man. And also, on top of that, even worse, they're changing the whole dynamic of a marriage.
Exactly.
Now they're propagating also a woman and a woman can raise a son and children. You don't need a man or a man and a man. Yeah, so they're messing up the whole dynamic. So they're taking away
from the beginning, man and woman procreating, God's whole,
God's ordinance
and how it all stemmed from.
The first institution
exactly. So now when you come away from truth, where's the end result of that? It's all over the place.
Pandora's box.
Exactly.
And the crazy part about it is that you really don't even have to go spiritual with that. That you can just be, if you want to be, just scientific.
Sociology,
right? You know what I'm saying? You just take it straight to what we know to be a principle in science, and that is only man and woman can reproduce.
Yeah.
Period.
That's it.
Bro.
It's basic.
So
simple.
that is an institution that can never be broken. That is a principle truth. You will never be able to break that. So you don't even have to go with the whole Christian or God argument.
Yeah.
I could just go right to your science, bro.
Biological evidence.
Exactly. Your evidence that you would bring up against me tells you that it was man and woman that makes another either man or woman.
Yeah.
That's it, bro.
That's it. So these kids now look. So when from the top, there's no foundation. So now, if these kids are on top of all this miscued foundation, or not miscued foundation, but all this that we not even agreeing on, this foundation here, you know what I mean? So now it's on shaky ground. So how we expect these kids to be stable, and how we expect to raise these kids to be productive when everything's being challenged, everything, you know what I mean? We're not even sure of what we're saying anymore.
Yep. Yeah. Well, so confused kids, and that's what we have today.
And that's what you see.
Kids.
The result is right there.
And not only that, hopeless kids as well, because where confusion is demonic and satanic.
Yeah.
But when demonic activity is going on, it breeds hopelessness, and that's what you see in a lot of our children today.
Yeah.
And that's not even just a minority in the hood kind of thing.
No.
Because what we're finding is kids in the suburbs got major issues. Major issues as well.
They're going
So we see
massive killing sprees. Like life doesn't even mean anything no more to some of these kids.
So let me throw this at y'all then. For the father, do you think society, and when I mean society, right, not talking about the neo-feminism, but entertainment, media, is there an attack on the father?
Wow. Kanye West was just on this guy's show. Joel Osteen, the big smiling Christian prosperity gospel.
Yeah.
Kanye was just on his joint doing his concert, and then he preached. And the main thing he said, protect your children. Hollywood is using symbolism to deteriorate them.
Yes.
Lead them away from Christ.
Yes.
And that was powerful. I was like, wow, that's crazy.
We go to different places, and we talk to these kids, different centers and everything. And every time you ask a kid, what do you want to be in the future? What are you interested, so we can help you attain your goals? It's always a rapper. Yeah. It's always you know what I mean? It's like all the hardcore, the hardcore blue collar worker, it's not
They don't see
appealing
no
no more.
value in
It's
it.
not appealing no more.
there's
It's
no
like,
value in it,
yeah, and I'm like, yo, you don't even have to go there. Like, you can get paid by being a doctor. You can be paying, or not even if you don't even have to go that far. You
There's
can
so
be,
many
a
opportunities.
doctor's assistant, X-ray tech. I'm naming an
Engineers.
engineer.
Yeah.
I'm naming all kinds. I'm like, man, listen, they make good money. You can, have a good. If this interests you, you should pursue that. And everything is all Hollywood.
Yeah.
Everything's Hollywood.
It's big and flashy.
Yeah,
and
yeah. And
that's what they're looking for.
And they want it instantaneously. Quick.
Yeah.
They don't want to
They don't
work
wanna
for
put
it.
no work
They don't
in.
want to put no
You
work for it.
understand?
It's just they want it right here. Or I'm gonna be a tuber. I'm gonna be a YouTuber.
Yeah.
I'm gonna play games, and everybody's gonna. Everybody wants to be a tuber now.
They don't understand the work behind it.
Listen,
Yeah.
I want to be a tuber. Can y'all? I'm gonna be real. Yeah, I deserve to be a tuber. Listen, I worked hard my life. So listen, if anybody deserves to be a tuber, I'm a tuber. Subscribe to our YouTube, okay? Because I want to be a tuber. I think I deserve to be a tuber. That's my spiel. And listen, I will be your best tuber. I will be your best tuber. I will provide you with quality stuff, bro. So tube for me. Listen, no, but not everybody has that mentality, and it's getting saturated,
And that breaks down to so what we're saying is the youth are looking up to celebrities, right, who are propagating sin, correct?
Yeah.
But back in the days, who was our idol? Your father.
Yeah.
I want to be like my dad.
Yeah.
You remember that?
Well, listen,
We don't got that no more.
Tom Brady just recently said, they asked him, who was your hero? He said, my father. Right. So that goes to show you, though, how much influence a father has. And we're talking about fathers that are active in their church. Because there are fathers that are in the home but not present.
Right.
Exactly.
Homer Simpson.
But it's
exactly.
still-
It's
yeah.
just there, but, it is what it is.
and you have some that's not in the home but still active in their kids. So it goes both ways.
It goes both ways, yeah. But so if media is attacking, so examples of media attacking, like one of the things we see in TV shows is constantly seeing a father who is a dummy, lazy, good
Fat.
for nothing. He may just go to work and pay bills and pass his money over to his wife.
And the woman dominates him.
Exactly. She's
Treats him like one
constantly-
of the children.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
yeah, yo.
like
man.
this is part of the symbolism, the psyche. It gets into the psyche of the family fabric. You watch shows like this. What is it teaching our young boys? What is it teaching our young girls?
As opposed to what the shows we grew up with.
Yeah, like think about
Leave It to
the
Beaver,
Leave It to
Andy
Beaver.
Griffith Show.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Wow, my man went to Leave It to
right?
Beaver.
Jeffersons.
Well, I was gonna go Family
Cosby-
Ties.
Listen,
you know what I mean? My man
forget
said,
about
leave
where
it.
Cosby's
Gemma
at
went
right
back,
now,
you know
but
what I mean?
the Cosby Show was official,
That
man.
was Cosby
Beautiful
Show.
show.
Was
Yeah.
yes.
It was an
show.
official
I grew up
show,
on the
bro.
Cosby Show. The Cosby Show was my joint, man.
It was like, Cosby the doctor. He
Made
was
me
like,
eat hoagies.
that was
He
that
taught me how to
dude.
eat hoagies. I put the potato chips inside the sub. Yo, come on now.
Come on, bro.
That's some lethal information there,
Yeah,
bro.
bro.
If you
That's
ain't
a
know that-
jewel.
oh,
That's a
man.
jewel. I got that from Cosby Show.
Oh man, bro.
Yeah, but growing pains and all these other
The
things.
Jeffersons.
The Jeffersons.
Good times,
Yeah.
strong father figure.
Yeah. Oh, what's the other one, man? Dynamite. What's the
That's
one?
Good Times.
The Good Times. That was my joint. Good
Yeah, I
Times.
love that
The
show.
father was strong. Yeah,
Oh,
strong
yeah.
figure.
Yeah,
in
he
it,
played.
Yo,
Yeah.
all right. So who in media, in television today, who is the biggest proponent on making the father look bad today? Who do you think?
Homer Simpson.
Homer Simpson.
Homer Simpson. Ain't that
Homer Simpson, bro.
And you know what's crazy is like all of us be like, that's my dude.
That's my dude.
Right?
Yo, Homer though, man. Homer.
But Homer Simpson
You're
has
right,
been
though.
in.
That's
He's
a
been
good
in
point.
it since 1980s, bro. 89, I believe they've been around.
For a long time.
Constantly pushing a father that's a dutz, a klutz, wants to kill his kids, and
Oh my.
got no
Homer do
control.
not have it up there.
He don't even like his
dummy.
kids. He don't even like his kids.
My man work at a power plant. You
They don't
getting
know
paid
what-
mad money.
How many times you about to blow things
Yo,
up?
but
You're right though. I see
the
what you're saying.
symbolism behind
Yeah,
that,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
You know,
yeah,
and that
yeah.
takes a toll on people, on homes, man. It just takes a toll of whether we believe it or not on the psyche of people.
Yeah.
It makes little girls look at men and boys as losers.
Well, not only that, let's take the rap game, right? Right. We see, come on, y'all been in the rap game. I used to love listening to rap and the mindset of calling a woman a B, a hoe, and then not only that, in the videos, you got these girls, slinging their booty around and being half naked. and thinking that's what it is to be a woman, right? Young girls are growing up seeing this.
Yeah, and I could speak for myself. I don't know, Gemma could speak for him, but when we was doing music and I had that, my mindset wasn't a family mindset. You know what I mean? My mindset wasn't getting married. I didn't believe in marriage. I thought marriage was the most dumbest thing in the world. You're just gonna lock up your money with this woman. First of all, you're gonna have to have a prenup if you got with me. Yeah. And then that's the way I used to think. And then not only that, why even do that? Like, why want to be with one woman? You know, I thought the whole
purpose was to have a harem, a harem of women, right?
Yeah, exactly.
A household of just concubines.
So that's why we spoke like that, and that's why we treated them the way that we did, because we didn't value them the way we did.
That's the reality.
Now I value the companionship and then what you can give me, but it was a definite selfish, definitely selfish, and that's part of the mindset of some of them are now. You know what I mean? Some of the rappers.
So let me throw this right, and how much of the Father in heaven is selfless, right? When you think about the ultimate Father, God the Father is completely selfless. He is constantly giving and putting other people ahead of him, from his own Son Jesus Christ to us who he's been patient with and trying to knock on our hearts and convict us of our sins. And yet, that is the example
He's the ultimate example.
He is the ultimate example.
The best dad
exactly.
ever. You know what I mean? He is the ultimate. And listen, my dad, was in my life. They were separated, got divorced. You know what I mean? And when I was probably 10 years old, they separated. And my dad was and some of the jewels to this day, I keep some of my dad's jewels that he dropped on me. Yeah. You know what I mean? So I understand the importance of a dad. You know what I mean? In a life, in a young man's life, I think that it's crucial.
Keep it 100 with y'all, and this is straight transparency. This is the only bit of nugget that my father ever gave me, because my father didn't raise me. But I remember, I think it was 12 or 13. I came from visiting a shorty's house, and this is what he told me. He was like, yo, whenever you with a shorty, make sure you go down on her, give her head.
Wow. That's
the only advice he ever gave me, bro.
How old were you?
I was 12 or 13.
At 12 or 13, he was telling you that?
That's crazy, man. Wow. I'm sorry, man.
So, no, but think about
that's
this.
good advice. Nah, I'm just playing. But listen. It's crucial advice there.
We rebuke this man in the name of Jesus right now.
I am joking. If you can't joke, don't listen to the station.
You're gonna get offended up in this place.
Yeah, we're gonna offend you. If you don't have a sense of humor, you're already offended by me. You're not gonna like me.
But think about this, right? So there's a lot of boys right here who out in this world who may have their father briefly in the and that's stuff like that is going on.
Well, that was a negative.
That's negative.
That was a negative. Him being in your life.
That's my point.
You know what I'm trying? Not to speak bad about it. You know what I mean? But that's a negative. Yeah.
But that's the thing, how many of these young boys, young girls are growing up with no kind of influence from their father, right? Yeah. That's the key right there, because you just said it, my father, and it was jewels, the influence, and that's important for kids, man. The affirmation and letting them know, you did a good job. Yeah. One thing I try to do with my kids is I tell them every day, I love them. I love them. I love them, because they need to hear that. And they may get annoyed with it, I don't know, but you have to tell them you love them. So, but the ultimate father father is God. Yeah. And all of us, I think, to a degree, have experienced his fatherhood in our lives.
Yes. Amen.
How would you kind of share your experience of God's fatherhood in your own personal life?
I say protection a lot too, man. Like, He's protecting me in when I couldn't protect myself.
Big.
So he makes provision when I couldn't make the provision. He's protected, and he's loved me in ways I needed to be loved at those moments, even if it was tough. That's what a dad do sometimes. Even if it was tough at that moment.
Hebrews talks about that. Hebrews 12.
So praise God for
also providence. God's providence, everything He put you through for that same, like you said,
all a reason and a purpose. Yes,
yeah, man. And what else? What I was gonna say? Oh, I forgot. Providence was the one.
Too much coffee. Coffee.
What about
you?
No,
you didn't have enough coffee today. Yeah, so you went Red Bull today.
You went Red Bull.
That's why you're. See, he's whacked today. He's whacked today because he went Red Bull.
See, that's what it is.
Unless Red Bull is gonna endorse us. he's not whack. But if Red Bull doesn't endorse us, he's whack today because he didn't have his cup off. He didn't have his cup off.
I'm not whack.
I'm just joking. You're never whack. You're never whack, Jam. You're on point.
What about you, Kurt?
I mean, it's pretty much the same. You know what I mean? Just having God there, knowing that, you know, I got something I can always go back to. Especially, you know, for me growing up, I was always different from all the other kids. So my safety, my refuge was in my conversations with the Lord.
Man,
keeping it one.
Can I say something, Kurt, real quick? Y'all don't realize how different Kurt was as a kid. My little brother grew up with Kurt. And they about the same age, my little brother Bubs.
Okay.
And he was like, when he was like 12 years old, he said he thought Kurt was an adult staff member at Egerton. That's how big and strong he was.
Too big.
Yo,
man.
listen, they
He
want
said
to
kid with a
change
big
on that.
kid. Parents didn't know how to raise him.
He said, ain't nobody mess with Kurt. This at Jefferson High School, bro.
Yeah.
This was bad back in the day. He said you had ballers, OGs, everybody knew Kurt Little. Ain't nobody mess with Kurt Little. They said he was insanely abnormally strong.
Yeah, I believe it.
Abnormally strong. They thought he was an adult.
And he used to dress like an adult.
Yes. He went to
Yeah,
school
he's
eighth
dressed
grade
like
in
an
a suit
adult.
and tie
Yeah,
and a
the suit and tie
briefcase.
and a briefcase.
It's
To high
crazy.
school.
It's
Where
high
Kurt
school.
Classic
Yeah.
came from.
That's
baby.
Kurt Classic.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Kurt Classic.
Yeah. He thought he was a teacher.
Yo, my bad.
Trending in the streets.
So yo, check it out.
What's
Trending
up?
on the streets, man. 104 people shot, 14 killed over the Father Days weekend in Chicago. It's getting bad, man, and they still yelling defund the police. I hope they got another plan. Also, my man Bubba Wallace, the only African American driver in NASCAR, who petitioned to get the Confederate flag out of existence in NASCAR. Can't wave it at the races no more. He got that. NASCAR was like, all right, bet, that's cool. We ain't gonna do that no more. You got a lot of mad white people. A couple days later, they found a noose hanging in his garage. NASCAR's pissed. They investigating. They say whoever they find, they don't care who it is. It could be the most famous race car driver ever in NASCAR history. He gonna be banned for life. So in a sign of solidarity, they had a race, and you had like 36 NASCAR drivers, man. They pushed Bubba Wallace's car up to the front, and he got real emotional, got out the car, shed some tears, man. They all hugged him.
Wow.
So you got a whole bunch of race car drivers backing him up.
Wow.
Another thing trending, Supreme Court just ruled that there was a Civil Rights Act back in the days preventing jobs from firing you because of your race. Supreme Court just ruled that they're gonna use that rule to stretch out to gender and sexuality. So it's not really a big thing because, yeah, you know, I agree with that. You can't fire somebody because they're gay or bisexual or gender neutral or nothing. But now
What's
you're
the
entering the
slippery slope on
realm.
that?
Yes, slippery slope, because now you could play that in high school where little boys be like, yo, I identify as a girl and I want to use girls' bathroom and I want to use the girls' locker room. And also you got boys who want to be girls and compete in girls' sports, which is not going to make it fair. So you open up a whole Pandora's box there, man. I think it was a bad ruling. Trump is pissed because he just appointed 2 conservative Supreme Court justices, and one of them was the main one that voted for this.
Yeah.
And so he was like a fake conservative, you know what I'm saying? He put him in there to protect the sanctity of marriage and gender, sexuality, and turned on him. So that's what's trending on the streets right now, man.
That's
Listen,
big. That's big.
you know what's big? We got black people in NASCAR.
No, we have one black person
But
in NASCAR. Bubba Wallace.
my man is in there though.
Yeah, he in there.
My man
Working
is
the
in
whip.
there, bro.
He working the whip.
He working the way. When they see one, you know, then that's gonna inspire others.
Like the Jackie Robinson of baseball.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. He's
Absolutely,
gonna
man.
inspire others. My man is up in NASCAR. Yo, come on, that's big, man.
And he's
NASCAR.
ranked. He's ranked. He's tough. He does his thing, man.
Yo,
He's
any
nice
of
with
y'all
it.
been to a
Yeah, he's
NASCAR
nice.
race?
Never,
No,
but I heard
I
it's
had a friend.
been to
I had
a
a
track.
I had a friend
to a
that was
track,
into
yeah.
it. Yeah, he was into it. He's like really into it.
been
I
to
wonder
a
how
track.
he feels about
Rode
it.
in the car. It was pretty dope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
serious. That's intense.
Yeah,
I
it was a
imagine.
race car. I was doing the summer volunteering with Camp Good Days and Special Times, and every year they go up to Watkins Glen, and some of the racers, they'll take the kids out
That's dope.
and do like a lap around the
Oh, so you was in the car with the one?
Oh
that
yeah,
did
yeah,
it?
yeah.
And he was speeding through it, or no?
He was clocking like 2 something, bro.
Yo, what you in the car?
Yeah,
Was
when
you
he was
scared?
Well, he asked if it was because I'm an adult at this time.
Oh, you was an
yeah,
adult.
yeah.
Okay.
So he asked. He was like, you
Oh,
good?
did he think you was an adult because you looked like an adult when you was a kid?
No, bro.
No, but
but it was dope. No, it was official, bro. He was moving.
he
bro.
was nice with it.
Yo,
Like,
he was
cutting the
nice
corners?
with it, and I ain't gonna lie, bro. When he first took off, I was shook.
Yeah, I would have been.
I was kind of shook, bro.
Yeah.
Because that car picked up quick.
Yeah,
fast.
yeah.
So I'm like, yo, this dude lose control.
It's a rap. Yeah, it could be a rap. It could be a rap.
Yeah.
Definitely could be a rap.
So I give big ups for that, man.
Yeah.
A lot of respect for that.
That respect for my man
Yeah.
that gets in the game. That's good.
Yeah.
Man. Respect that. Yeah.
Listen, let's continue on this discussion of fatherhood, and I want to switch it up a little bit. Let's do it personally. Let's talk about us being fathers, and let's go from the first. I have 3 children, ages 13 going on 14. I have a 9-year-old and a 2-year-old going on 3. What about you guys?
Don Dada, have 4 children. I have my eldest is a daughter. I have a son. My son has autism, and then I have my 2 younger ones, 12. Oh no, she just turned 13, and a 10-year-old.
Wow. I have Dari, my firstborn. She's like 29. My son David, he's like 27. My daughter Mercedes, she's like 25. My daughter Julia, she's like 23. And my daughter Amani, who just turned 10, and my daughter Layla, who's 6 years old.
Daughter.
Brady Bunch.
I only got one son, man. I got the one
Got
son
him.
done.
You got him. Me too. I got one son. That's it.
one
I mean, that's all the ones I know of. You know.
Yo, yeah.
Being
That's a
honest,
whole
I'm
nother
just
story,
being real.
bro.
I'm just being real.
It's a whole nother story right there.
I mean,
quick, come on.
listen, and that not because of me, like if they never brought it to me, then if they'd have brought it to me, then I do what I got to do. But
Yo, I ain't gonna lie. I've prayed, asking Lord. I don't know if I have kids out there. If I do, Lord, have mercy, and I pray they know you.
yeah, amen.
Amen.
'Cause I really don't
That's
know.
the prayer.
But-
Yes, Jesus.
What about you, Kirk? How many kids you
Yo,
got?
I guess I'm the good one out the bunch.
Oh,
Nah. I only got 2. I only got 2. Yeah,
2 precious ones.
Two precious ones,
No,
one
but-
woman.
see,
One
but
7,
Pat-
1 4, man.
But Pastor Kurt is a children's and youth pastor, so he got a bunch of surrogate kids
Yeah,
out there he
man.
deal with too.
You
So
ain't kidding, bro.
yeah, praise God. But all right, so okay, you guys have been Dawn, Jamma, you guys have been fathers before y'all became Christians.
Oh, yeah.
What was that like for y'all?
I don't know how my daughter came out so well, man. Praise God. That's another thing. I praise God so much, man. I'm always thanking God. Man, I'm just always thanking God. I'm blessed because, man, my daughter came out well. And you know what's crazy?
How
How
old were you?
when when
For your first daughter, yeah, how old?
Firstborn.
when she was born, I got her mom pregnant 15, and then I was 16 when she had the baby, and she was 16 too. She was 16 too. So I was young.
Yeah, you could barely wipe your behind right.
Yeah. I had my own crib. I remember. Yeah, this true story. My man V, we was all drinking, 22 ounces beers, and it was late night.
Yeah.
Late night, and I'm 16, and I looked 12. And when I was 16, I looked 12. So, V, he come in the house and he look at me. Everybody's drinking. We had a case of deuces, and he looking at me. He tells Buddha, "Yo, what's up with this little dude right here drinking, bro? If I was your dad, I'll spank you, bro. I'll take you home. You should be getting ready for school. You know what I mean?" He
said that?
V.
Vince.
Oh,
Vince.
Black
Vince.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Black Vince.
Oh, yeah.
Vince was like, yo, he barked. Vince was like, yo, man, what's up with this little dude? You letting this little dude drink beers and all that? He should be getting ready for school. If that was my son, man, I'll pound on him. And then Buddha looked at him and said, yo, bro, we could go to his house and drink beers. My man got his own house, his own crib. What are you talking about? And then he cracked the beer. Vince cracked the beer, gave it to me, and said, here you go, man. Here you go. But anyways,
Big up, Vince.
so, I one thing, I was committed though. Even though I was young, I was there. I was there with her mom. You know what I mean? Since she came out, you know what I mean, of her mom, I was there. And was I the best example in the beginning? No. I was selling drugs. I was shootouts in the streets. I mean, I was doing a lot of stuff. So, you know, man, so many times I put her in danger without even knowing that I put her in danger. You know what I'm saying? And because we used to do a lot of crazy things.
Man, I
you
used
know
to
what I'm
be
saying?
with Dave at the krill spot, man, on Lake.
Look at that.
Man, like it was cool.
Like it was
I'm
cool.
on the stoop chilling with my son, and I'm off and man, I'm like that was so. And I thought I was the coolest. Go ahead.
Oh yeah, we thought we thought we was doing like the coolest dads and all that, and throwing parties, drinking, you know, a bunch of craziness happening in the parties, you know. So I through the grace of God, though, you know what's crazy is that my daughter doesn't remember none of that.
Wow.
Through the grace of God, because my daughter was about 12, I want to say, when I got saved. She was like 12. No, I want to say 12. Yeah, about around that age, 12 to 14 or something like that. She don't remember none of that time.
Man, David.
All she remember is me. You know what she remembers? She remembers me being a youth pastor, me the retreats.
Wow.
She remember all the good things.
That's dope.
But you couldn't say bad
the
things about
providence of the Lord.
that's God. Like she barely remember any. We watched this video that we have, family video that my sister got. That and then my daughter's shocked, like Dad, she's like, Dad, I do not remember you like that, and she doesn't like it. She's like, oh, you're so much better now. Like I can't even believe that you talk like that,
great.
you curse like that, you act like that, Dad. You know what I mean? So through the grace of God, you know, with her, that I could say that my son is different because you know my son is special needs and he's nonverbal, but he repeats some stuff and he's like a baby. My son is 21, but he's like a baby. So he just roll with me. But now to spin off these girls though, my 13-year-old and my 10, me and with the mom, and we both on the right page. We both with the Lord. We both great mother, great woman. And not to say my baby mom not great. She does her thing too. Respect to her. But my wife and us, they got a whole different. They got it different. They got it way different than my oldest had it. And sometimes, I'm gonna be honest, sometimes I don't know. I look at my oldest and that balance of her going through some hardship.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm like, did it create her character to see, you know, the opposite, to see your dad not doing well, to see your dad now prosper of God and can appreciate it. My younger ones, all they see is your dad prosper. All they see is your dad good, your dad with the Lord. All they see. So it's like, I sometimes want to show the contrast somehow, but I leave it in the Lord's hands. You know what I mean?
What about you, Gemma?
17, had my first kid. That was Dari, and then had Dave when I was like 23 years later, and I was deadbeat dad. I wasn't even there. I was like just popping them out. They would come stress me to, you know, see the kids, and hey, he's a kid. I was like, whatever. I was just a selfish, self-absorbed, wannabe gangster, you know, trying to be king of the streets with these people over here, smoking mad trees. Father passed away, went through mad depression.
Deep depression.
And all my friends were like, yo, what happened to Jim?
Bro,
he's just completely different.
And that was like what, like 5-year depression?
Oh, longer than that.
It
like
was
7 years.
Like a deep depression. Like I never seen something like that.
Yeah. I had my music. I had my boys, and they knew I was depressed. So they was like, yo, Jam, just make a beat. Here, smoke this. You know what I'm saying? For 7 years, that happened. So, and all the while I'm hustling. But my son remembers everything.
Oh, he does?
Wow. Man, he's like, Pops, remember when I was like, because my son, he flunked the first grade, right? And that's when your aunt, she was like, yo, this kid flunking, man, he need your help. You know what I'm saying? I got a whole bunch of the kids and, you know, whatever. I was living on Locust, and she dropped them off for the summer.
I remember that spot on Locust.
Yeah. She dropped them off for the summer, right?
Wild spot.
I was doing all right. You know, I was working plus hustling. You know, I was like on the cusp of, going straight.
Yeah,
you know what I'm
do
saying?
the right thing.
So I'm teaching them math. So I got dime bags of weed, nickel bags of weed, quarter ounces, half ounces, ounces, and I'm teaching them multiplication like that.
Wow.
I'm teaching. Yo, Dave, remember that? He's like, you remember that? I was like 7 years old. I was like, oh my God.
That is brilliant.
He was like, I'll never forget multiplication. Yo, first grade.
That's very visual right there.
First grade, he's rocking long division and complicated multiplication, like 345 times 55, you know what I'm saying? The old school way. He was doing it in the first grade.
Wow.
We still brag about
because you're being so visual with him.
Oh my God, it was bad. It was bad. I used to take him to the crack spot with me, man. Like it was all cool. I had my burner.
But I don't know how he was doing long division.
Yo, I taught him. I taught him.
No, because you ain't have that much work. Yeah, you're doing short dime bag division, 5 quarters, and okay, my bad.
That wasn't drug related. That wasn't drug
No,
related. Yeah, I was always a nickel and dimer.
You had your moment. You had your moment.
Never got up to the big boys like
No.
Don Dada.
No, you had your moment. Stop playing.
I was
No, so go ahead.
So man, it was bad, and I was a deadbeat dad. You know. It was bad. It was bad. I don't know what happened. What happened where I was like, that was like the beginning of me being into my son's life. You know, she just gave him to me. It was like, yo, help me, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And
So it kind of put a battery in your pack to start being more involved.
Yeah. I started being
because
more
I know he was
involved
at a
with my
Weller
son.
house all the time.
Yeah.
My grandmother, little David was always at my grandma or my mom's house.
Yeah, 8 or 9 years old. You know, that's when I really got serious and was like, you know, yo, I got to wake up. You know what I'm saying? I got a good job and started doing my thing. I didn't see my daughter till she was like 14. My wife was like, yo, I was paying a whole bunch of child support money for her in the whole nine. My wife was like, yo, what's up with your daughter? I was like, I don't know. I'm scared to go see her. You know, it's been like 14 years. I've seen her maybe like 4 times. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And my wife was like, nah, bro, nah. I'm going to find where the chick is at. The whole 9, boom, boom, boom. My wife made it happen.
Wifey. That's a good wifey. Right there.
And then got into my daughter's life. And then like a year later, got custody of her. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, like a year later.
Custody of Dari? I didn't know that.
At 14 years old, she started living with me. Because she was having problems with her mom and her grandparents who she was staying with. They were like deep, hardcore Pentecostals.
Oh.
Like she couldn't wear pants, she couldn't wear jewelry,
yeah.
the whole nine. She was like, Pops, I can't do it, man. I'm like a prisoner. And they're like hypocrites because my mom puffed trees. My mom wear jewelry. But, you know, I'm supposed to be a Pentecostal. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, and then I took her to court. And Dari, you know, she was 14. The judge was like, who you want to stay with? She was like, I want to stay with my dad. And then the judge was like, well, you was paying $150 a week for the past 14 years. Do you want to charge her $150 a week now that you're at custody? I was like, nah. I was like, no, because she ain't have it like that, the mom. Yeah. And they were hurt by that. Like, yo, you taking my daughter. I'm like, you know. So I got into her life right there.
Right there. And that's how y'all got close right there.
Yeah, we got tight there. And and Dave came out pretty good. Perfect story of me and Dave is the importance of a father, right? He tells me this all the time. He was like, Dad, when you wasn't in my life, I wasn't doing too good. I flunked the first grade, the whole 9, you came, boom. Taught me all that stuff, although the method was questionable, right? And then, you know, I was out of his life for another couple of years. Then I got him permanently at 10 years old when his mom tried to move to New York and he tried to take him. I was like, no, that's not happening. Because that's when I was in his life for like 2 years hard at the time. And so she was like, all right, you keep him. She left and I got my son when he was 10. And bro, this kid was phenomenal. He was doing great. You know, got sports. Oh my God, the kid he's like his dad. You know what I'm saying? Football star, basketball star, boxing, wrestling.
No, but he was good. Yeah.
So and then he graduated from high school with high honor roll and distinction, and then he moved to New York City with his mom.
Yep.
Became a drug dealer.
Yep.
Got into mad altercations with police officers.
Yep.
A year over there, his mother calls me and said, yo, come get your son, this boy wildin'. And I'm like, yo, I told you not to let him go over there. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? He wildin', he come back, right? I'm like, Bobby, come back, please. My man came back with a pound of trees on the Greyhound. I didn't even know. He told me 5 years later. Like, damn, this kid was wildin'. So he come back home, and it was a fight. It was a struggle to try and get him back on the right track. I ain't give up. Yo, I put hands on him a couple times. You know what I'm saying? Argued a lot of times, and then finally, the Lord took him.
Yes.
Don Juan right here. Don Juan's mom, the whole village, man, the church. They got into him. You got into him. And Pastor Lou got into him, and he converted. And he's doing phenomenal right now, man. He's doing great. And he tells me the importance of a father in his life, the disparity of when I was in his life, what was going on, and when I wasn't in his life and what was going on. Yeah. And it's just, boom, it's proof is in the book.
Give a shout out real quick. Shout out to Leilani. Shout out to Laciano. Shout out to Sanaa and Sienna.
Big ups to them.
Big up.
No doubt.
Yeah. So all right, now that y'all Christians and are being ministers to your family. I'll start off with you, Kurt. What is it like being a Christian father?
And it's the greatest feeling in the world, to be honest. Being a Christian dad has actually brought me closer to the Lord, because the just the love and the care that I have towards my kids, I just think about, man, if I have that, how much more does God have for us? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Big ups on that.
And so every situation, even through the discipline, through the acts of love, whatever it is, I see God, man, and I see how, like, man, I see why God does what He does sometimes. You know what I'm saying? It's like getting a clear picture of who God is spiritually. You know what I mean? So it's been an amazing journey, and I'm enjoying the ride, man. I'm enjoying the ride.
How about you, Lou?
So full transparency here, because my father didn't raise me. I had my grandfather in my life, but he was present but not active in my life. So I really didn't have a male role model in my life. So as a believer, as a Christian, I had this constant concern of, will I be able to father my kids? Like, will I be like them? Would I be present and not active? Will I shrink back and just want to run away? This was something I mentally struggled with even as a young believer. So when Emma came along, I just would pray, God, I don't want to be like my dad. God, I don't want to be like my grandfather. I don't want to be like my two older brothers, because they weren't great role models to their kids either. And so I remember praying, and the Spirit of God just ministered to me one time. Emma was probably like maybe 3 or 4 years old at this time. And the Spirit of God just spoke to me clear as day. You're not like them. I made you like my son, and you're gonna be a good father. Like, it was an affirmation from a father.
Wow.
Praise God.
Wow.
It's what it was. You
needed
it was like,
it at
I
that
needed
moment.
to hear that, and it just clicked. And don't get me wrong, I could see tendencies that want to well up in me from my grandfather and from my father that just kind of want to shut everything down. Because dealing with kids, man, y'all know, everybody, all the fathers know it. It's work.
Yeah.
And it's just work. It is what it is. It comes with the territory. So now that I have my three kids, my prayer over them has always been, Lord, I want them to be saved. Even though I'm a pastor, my fear now, in a sense, and it's not a choking fear, but my worry and my concern is there's an expectation sometimes on children who have parents that are spiritual leaders.
Yep.
And I don't want to put that on my kids personally.
Yep.
No, my kids, they already know you act up, you about to get it. You know what I'm saying? I would be like that if I wasn't a pastor.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? It's just
Yeah.
how I am. But that's just my fear. This expectation on them, I don't want to put that on
And it's
myself.
subconsciously sometimes, because like how many we know pastors' kids that, I don't know, for some reason the dynamic of them being a pastor's kids, somehow it plays into their life that they become rebellious at a point.
Oh, yeah.
Or they feel like it's been pushed on. It don't becomes their faith. It's their dad's or their mother's faith, but they don't own it.
Yeah.
And then don't get me wrong, there's some that do turn out well. But there's a saying in the Christian realm, a PK kid.
Yeah, PK kids. Yeah. To keep it 100, man, my wife was telling me today, she was just saying this. She was like,
That means a preacher's kid for people that
PK,
don't know.
PK, preacher's kid. But she was just being straight up honest with me today. She was like, yo, we gotta do more of getting the word into our kids. And I'm gonna be straight up. I've probably slacked in that area recently because I've been so busy. And it was like my wife saying that means whenever she bring up something to that nature, it was like, yo, it's a wake up call. And so now I'm just like, I gotta get back to what we would like before COVID-19. It was like every night I was reading to my son. And I pray with my little one every night. I tuck them both to bed, and my wife tucks Emma to bed. But I would be reading with my son Israel through the Action Bible.
Yeah.
Then this ruined a whole routine. and I've slacked off since that. So, but yeah, it's just there's concerns there because when you are in position of leadership, people can sometimes put an expectation on your kids. The scripture puts an expectation because the reality, the Bible says in 1 Timothy that the man who can't rule his own household and his kids are not in order, he ain't fit to take care of the church.
That's right.
So that's a pressure sometimes that that's on me as well.
Yeah. If I can just real quick, to speak to that, I think a lot of times what happens with those kind of outcomes of the PK kid, what I've noticed at least is it's usually when the father, because it's usually the father who's the pastor, when he's just so involved in the church, but not involved in the life of the child. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Where the child is involved in church, but dad is not involved in the child's life. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And the child sees, that when sister so-and-so or when brother so-and-so need help or need something or something's going on, what I mean? Dad quickly, he quick to react to those things. But, man, you never came to my ball game. Yeah. I had a recital. You didn't show up for that. You know what I mean? All kind of stuff. And I think that's where a lot of frustration comes from a lot of the PK kids. And so one of the things that I've endeavored or have been intentional about and making sure that I do is that ministry is not just something that my kids see me do, but it's something that we live together. You know what I'm saying? So as they get older, man, I bring them to, if I go somewhere or do something, you know what I'm saying? I want them to be involved. So if I go visit somebody in the hospital, you coming with me. Because I want them to see that as a lifestyle, not just as, oh, my dad's a pastor. You know what I mean? I want them to be involved in the process, and I think they'll have an appreciation for it when we do it that way.
I remember you said a comment that we was doing the panel thing for the Facebook for the church, and he was like, well, we're talking about Christian dads because, and he said, let's not say that all dad, you don't have to be a Christian dad to be a good dad.
Right.
Remember you had said that, Kurt? You know what
Absolutely.
I mean? And what did you mean by that?
I meant that, listen, because you can be a Christian dad and still be an absentee dad. You know what I'm saying? You're not there. You're not involved in the life of the child. Your presence has to be felt, not just known. Like, yeah, I can know that you're in the next room, but do I feel it? Am I impacted by your presence? That's the difference between a good dad and a terrible dad. And you can be a Christian and still be a terrible dad.
And you could be non-Christian and impact your child's life.
Absolutely.
I mean, you see it all the time, role model, and they'll say, oh, my dad ain't got nothing to do with the Lord, and you know what I mean? So you see it all the time, But, Father's Day is tough for me because I rely on my strength on the Lord on that day because, again, my dad, even though when my mom and them separated, my dad was still in my life. You know what I mean? And don't get me wrong, it was a moment that my dad left my life because the way and I remember it like it was yesterday when he left my mom, he was like, yo, listen, I was 10 years old. He said, in my dad's eyes, you a man at 10 years old. He's like, you a man now. You're going to take care of the house, take care of your sister. He said, listen, me and your mom, what we going through, he said, a man doesn't live like this. This is what he told me. He said, this is not the way it's supposed to be. You know what I mean? Us fighting and all this and she going over here and I'm going there. Me cheating and she cheating. He said, listen, a man don't live like that. He said, you're not going to see me for a little while. He said, but know that I love you and know that, that I'm going to come back. But a man need to leave to get his wits up, to get his strength. And this is what he told me. He said, a man need to get his strength, and we got to do that alone, away from everybody. He said, even away from you, but you're old enough to take care of the house. He said, but when I come back, I'm coming back. Like, the kid is back. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, and then he left. And I ain't seen him for like a year or two. And when he came back pushing that Lincoln. Yeah, he did come back. He came back pushing that Lincoln, rolled up like, come on, let's go. Let's go get some McDonald's or whatever. He came back pushing that Lincoln.
Money.
And he was strong. See, he couldn't be around my mom. She was his weakness. And she kept beating him down, you know what I mean? Not to say that she was doing intention. They was beating each other down.
It just wasn't good for
they was just beating each other down, just emotionally and everything. So he needed to go get his strength outside in the wilderness, you know what I mean, and get his bearings. So when he came back, it didn't matter what she did. He can move like a man. He wasn't moved by his emotions. He didn't let her move his emotions. You know what I mean? Even if she acted out of order, he could just act cordial. Now it's the control was there, the control of his emotion, the control of his heart. Yeah. At the time, she had it, so he couldn't control it.
So as a church, what do we do about the children without fathers, man?
Yeah.
What do we do about those?
That's a great question.
It's all over the Bible, man, that God mandates us, Christians.
Orphan.
Yes, shouts out to Gracie. Grace, shout out giving her. When I was a youth pastor, I had Grace. She came from Africa. She didn't have a dad. She at the time, you know what I mean. She wasn't being treated right by the people she was staying with, and it was, I was her pastor, youth pastor at the time. So I was like, you know what, let me, you get attached. Kirk and you get attached to these kids. So
Definitely.
I started, being that advocate for her and just, letting, being there for her. And to this day, she just called me yesterday for Father's Day. To this day, she's 20, Grace is probably 24, 25 right now. Yeah. She like Lonnie's age. She's like 25. Yeah. So she, I still take care of her to this day. I'm the only dad she knows.
Beautiful, man.
Yeah, it's the only dad she knows. So, I think that's what we have to do. And
even if it's just one, right?
Even if it's just one, right. I mean, we're people. We don't have all the resources. Whoever you can, right. You know what I mean? Right. But you still got to do it.
As a church, me and Kurt was just talking about, because y'all just came from Clinton Avenue, right? Preaching the word, evangelizing, going down the Ave, trying to save souls, spreading the gospel. And we were just talking about how effective is that really, man? Yeah. How effective is that really? And then me and Kurt was just talking before y'all came, was like a more effective thing would be, what if a church opened up a rec center, man?
Exactly. Yeah.
And
me and Kurt was talking about
Hope Christian Fellowship, you know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
And boom, we got basketball courts, you got tennis courts, you got leaders, counselors in that
that's
rec center,
That's what Bethel
man.
did. Bethel did that.
That's more effective.
Remember when Bethel used to go around with the bus? I don't know, the Curtis know about this. Yeah, Bethel used to go around picking up kids. Q used to try to get me to go. I ain't going to that. He got Olive to go.
Was that Michael Peace was doing that?
I don't know who was doing
Michael
it.
Peace.
But they was doing that, and they was doing activities, and they would go around the whole city picking up kids from every neighborhood.
Oh yeah,
and they got huge. And they got huge.
That's
and a lot of people have a seed from Bethel because of that. Because of that. Yeah. And I knew a couple of people that
baby.
Yeah, shouts out to Mike Peace for that one. I mean, and I don't know if they do it. I don't think they do it anymore.
Well, he's got an organization called Bethel Express that's kind of similar, but it's it's a little different. You know what I mean? It's not attached to the church, per se.
Okay.
I mean,
how was your experience growing up at Edgerton? Because you came up in the rec
center. Yeah, see, I didn't. I wasn't a rec center kid.
Yeah, I mean, it was
Carter
it was
Street.
just. Again, it kept you off the street.
Lewis Street Center in the building.
Kept you off the street. I remember my boy Parrish. Big ups to Parrish if you ever hear this. He was like, black dude, kind of successful, you know what I mean, doing things for himself. Very respectable, very articulate. And again, like I said, I was a different kid. So Parrish picked up on that at an early time. And kind of just, took me up under his wing a little bit, talked to me, stuff like that. So, yeah, man, the rec center was a big part of my life.
How about you, Lou? You was rec center? You just shout out Carter Street. You was a rec center kid?
Me and my boys, we used to go to Carter Street and we used to hoop over there. But my boy Nate would hoop in Carter, like for the team there. Yeah. But we would just go outside.
Did you partake in any of the?
Nah. I mean, like if they did the softball.
Yeah.
Did that on occasion, but we usually would just go to the rec center.
So yeah, me too. I'll just go to the rec center for what they use, like Avenue D. We used to live across Avenue D. We used to go there and box a little bit.
I grew up in Lewis Street Center. It was right across the street on South Street. Everybody lived at Lewis Street Center. Plus, the Puerto Rican community was dominant.
Yeah.
When I was 5, 6, 7, 8,
and y'all
9,
was
10.
active in the rec center.
I mean, it was literally Lewis Street is right there.
It was PRYD.
In the middle.
I don't know if it was PRYD. I know it was a strong Puerto Rican program where you had strong Puerto Rican people, successful, just like advocating throughout the community.
We need the PRYD again. We need a PRYD. PRYD was in the schools. It was in number 8 school. I remember it was in the community heavy. PRYD. I remember that, man.
Yeah. All right, so that's it for our show today. But we got a final thought here from Pastor Curtis, and then we got a final segment we want to share with y'all.
Yeah, so final thought, man. Just being fathers, especially as men of God, It's important, number one, as was already stated, that we have to be present. And you have to make your presence be, you got to make it be felt. It's got to have an impact in your child's life. That's very important, very vital for us to do that. And something that I had said before, fatherhood is intentional. And I don't think we deal with that enough, even from the aspect of the church, that fatherhood is intentional. It's not a one-night stand thing. It's, you need to be intentional about it. And when you are intentional, because that's the image that we see from the Heavenly Father. When he created us, he was intentional about how he created us. And so we need to do the same thing about fathering our kids. We need to be intentional. And when you do, that's where you get the absolute love. That love that God had for us, that even when we did mess up, he gave himself, he offered himself as a sacrifice in order for us to have an ability to be reconciled and to be restored back to him. So again, when you have intentionality from fatherhood, man, you'll have absolute love, man, guaranteed.
Official. Thanks, Pastor Kurt. All right, so we're going to close it out with this last segment here. It's called Up and Coming, where we feature some up-and-coming artists. And this artist that you about to listen to as we ride out is Ryland Jr. He's from Rochester, New York. And he's got a song titled Victorious featuring DJ Sight, and his producer is Homage Beats. If you want to check out Ryland Jr., you can catch him at rj.jpradio.org. That's rj.jpradio.org. Have a blessed day, y'all.
Shouts out to DJ Sight and Ryland.
DJ Sight.
Check, it go. Victorious. Now when I say I win, it is more than just a game I'm playing in, cause he is glorious. Pay the wages of our sin. Our obedience to him is what it's costing us. His way of thinking is much more than us. Like comparing a tsunami to a puddle. Christ, my Lord, he took stripes, then they took life, then he took flight. Now he's seated on the right. Look, he went ahead of me, fighting my enemies. All things through him, he who will strengthen me. Tribulation come, I take heart and let it be. Show it to my pop, he be like, me yo, Ben Aki. Apparently my Lord be speaking other languages. His way, I'm scot-free. No suffering damages. No time to deal with. No underhandedness. Had to give my life to him. Please understand it's his. No longer mine, not a borderline. Gave it completely all to him. Feeling more than fine, stay winning. Up in Hollywood or the Rover's hood. Screaming God is surely good all the time. Y'all don't hear me now. No matter, I'ma share it out. It's gonna have to take a lot of them to carry out their plot and evil scheme. Why they don't see my daddy cares about his children who are living with the willingness to brag about the goodness of the Lord of Heaven's armies. Told me that no weapon formed against could ever harm me. Told me that no matter the offense, I'm never gonna leave. Told me that his power and his strength is all upon me. Y'all see my eyes and I've been open to the Psalm 3. Smack him in the face while I be napping under palm trees. Winning every race and I'ma cap it with a strong lead. Father, Son, Holy Ghost, one God, all three. Glory in the name Christ Jesus.
My whole clique victorious. I will not lose. My whole clique victorious. I will not lose. My whole clique victorious. I will not lose. Ain't no stopping.